Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the program Business Time. This is a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And in the program today, we do a cost-reflective analysis of ferrying fuel into the country through railway system versus the road transport system. And also in the program, more blackouts ahead as Egenco likely to miss the December 22 deadline for fixing Kapchira hydropower plant. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome. This is Business Time and my name is William Kumwembe. In our main story in the program today, for quite some time, Malawi has been grappling with fuel scarcity due to forex problems that has crippled the local economy. Malawi is a predominantly importing nation, and the gap between imports and exports remain glaringly wide, with imports bill pegged at about $3 billion compared to a $1 billion exports bill that the country has been able to rake in per year. Now, the question is, there are some problems regarding the importation system which elevates the cost of fuel. For example, road network versus rail system. The consortium of importers of fuel in the country, Petroleum Importers Limited, says the rail system seems to be ideal if only structures are put in place. And this, they say, could help ease the pressure the country has been facing lately. We caught up with the Chief Executive Officer for the institution, and our journalist Chimwemwe Mangazi has since filed this report.
PIL Managing Director Martin Msimoko said fuel haulage via rail was advantageous for Malawi. He, however, indicated that at the moment, Nacala Logistics, operators of the rail line connecting Malawi and the port of Nacala, only have diesel wagons.
We believe that by bringing fuel in cargo trains, we are able to bring huge volumes. As you can see, at one go, we have been able to bring in 1 million liters. And as well as if we used trucks, the carbon emissions would have been much higher than using the train as we have done. And we believe that by bringing through Nacala Logistics, nowadays the time it takes to bring the trucks is much shorter, almost 48 hours maximum, and this has also helped to reduce the losses that were being experienced before.
Msimoko further said PIL has procured another 4 million liters of petrol expected to arrive in the country on Thursday.
We have in the past few weeks been able to also source petrol through the same support from the banks, and I can confirm that in the last 1 week we have been able to bring close to 2 million liters of petrol, and in the next 2 weeks we are arranging to bring in 4 million liters as well.
Long fuel queues have become order of the day in the country's cities and towns owing to fuel shortages.
Now, there is a blame game between the Shile Valley Transformation Project and the electricity generation company of Malawi, Egenco, over who should provide new dates for concluding the Kapchira hydropower plant fixing. This comes months after the work has been underway, and projections were indicating that by 22 December there would be conclusion of the work. But recent findings indicates that there will be more time required for conclusion of the fixing of the project. Our journalist Chimwemwe Mangazi visited the site and has filed this report.
That Kapchira Power Station will not be ready to resume power generation by December 22, as earlier announced, broke loose when the Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources visited the station recently. This is due to ongoing works on rehabilitation of Kapchira Dam, whose sections were washed away by Cyclone Anna in January. This is what chairperson of the committee, Weran Chirenga, told Business Time.
What we have been told is that it will not be possible for Egenco to start their operations of Kapchira by 22nd November this year. They have cited quite a number of reasons. The main reason which they have given us is that the Ministry of Energy departed from the original designs and came up with designs which were different from those that were put in place by World Bank. So World Bank came in and stopped the works for some time, of which have now resumed. So because of that, Genco has lost some time, Malawians have lost some time. In addition to that, there were some 10 days which were lost because the country did not have diesel. So combining those 10 days plus the days they have lost because the World Bank stopped the project temporarily, we have lost some time. As we speak right now, construction of the Kofa Dam, which is the main component for the generation of electricity, has not yet started. They are trying to remove the debris which was put in place because of the new designs. So the information which we have gotten, the worrying information which we have taken from here is that come 22nd December, we should not be able to expect the Kapichira to start functioning, which is very bad news, very sad news. All in all, Genco is not to blame. From us as a community, what we have found out that went wrong is that the ministry came in with new designs contrary to those of World Bank, maybe even without consulting World Bank themselves. They just came in with something which has let us down. But we hope that moving forward, the ministry can do better, or Genco can come up with other means of making sure that we have electricity back, because we are indeed suffering as Malawians in terms of electricity generation. It's not World Bank holding electricity generation. They are the ones who funded this project. And had the Ministry of Energy or Ministry of Finance, or in short government, listened to recommendations of Parliament of using MAREP funds, which Genco wanted to use initially, this problem would not have been there. Because at first Genco proposed 15 billion to have the station up and running. Later on they revised it downwards to 10 billion, which is available at MAREP, which is available at the Ministry of Energy. But they decided to take the wrong route of borrowing money from World Bank. The catastrophe happened on 24th, was it 24th December? January, 24th December. So you can just count from January up to now, how many months? It was something that Genco assured the parliamentary committee that they could have been able to do within 2 or 3 months. By now this problem would have been a forgotten story. So we had to wait for funding from World Bank, which of course was approved by the last sitting of Parliament. But up now you can see World Bank conditions are very difficult. There are specifications, you make just a small mistake, they say stop. So how many times are we going to stop? If we make another mistake here, they will say stop again. Then for how long are Malawians going to wait? It's a very sad situation. No, this is a big lesson to us as a country. If we have got resources like the ones that we have in MAREP, we better use them. We should not always depend on donors. You see, they come up with very useless, funny conditions, like the ones which we are failing to meet now. We never know what they will tell us tomorrow. Very worrisome.
When asked about the possible earliest time to bring back power generation at the station, Genco Chief Executive Officer William Lyabunya had this to say.
If you can talk to SVTP, because the engineer and contractor are under them, so they're the ones that can give the deadline. Because it's only when the dam has been constructed that we can generate. And the people constructing the dam are the Shire Valley.
And Moses Gwaza is a Genco spokesperson.
No, we cannot confirm that we will have electricity by 22 December because according to the experts from World Bank, they are not sure when we can have electricity back because we are going to start construction of the CSD Kofa Dam, and depending on a number of factors including rainfall and availability of materials, they say that we cannot say with the absolute definite that when we can have electricity.
What exactly are the materials? Give us a brief about this technology of the Kofa Dam being constructed.
Well, we are using what they call cement soil dam. So the bigger component is the cement as well as the soil material, which have to be combined to create a strong dam that can withstand for about 3 years. Well, to come up with the December 22 date, the World Bank team, through their experts, they came here, they did an assessment to see what damage was there, and they came up with a schedule that initially indicated that we could have the station back in October. But then they revised it to say, after studying the work that's supposed to be done, we can do this work by 22 December. So we took that date and communicated to the public that, according to experts, the work that is supposed to be done here can be done and completed by 22 December.
SVTP board chairperson Stanley Kaira said it was not clear when the power station would be reopened.
I haven't received any report on the date that this is supposed to be possible. So it's difficult for me.
Power outages have disrupted industry operations in the country, which has a bearing on economic performance.
Remember, this is Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country, and my name is William Kumwembe. Moving on with the program, Castel Malawi has emphasized the need for creation of an enabling environment for private sector to effectively contribute towards the national economic growth. This was said recently when the outgoing Castel managing director Harvey Mihed was bidding farewell to the company. Mihed said the country's economic growth lies in the thriving private sector, which has the potential to grow further. He caught up with our reporter Justin Mkweu, who has filed this report.
The Malawi economy depends on agriculture, which contributes more than 30% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP. However, less of agriculture is done for commercial purposes, unless it is tobacco, which is the main cash crop, and more than 80% of the farmers are smallholder farmers. Of this agriculture, some of it feed to the main production companies, while others export and others process. Castel Malawi is one of the companies which have a big share in the private sector, having the biggest market share of alcoholic beverages, ranging from spirits to beers down to ciders. Aside from Castel, which is in the beverages sector, the private sector has other subsectors such as the banking, insurance, manufacturing, and real estate, among others. Miohade is of the view that Malawi private sector has potential to contribute to the country's GDP more than it is doing now.
You know, the environment of Malawi is linked with the industry health. You know, if the industry is healthy, the industry will provide employment. The employment is going to provide added value, tax, and then finance for the country, and it's going to be a virtuous circle instead of a vicious circle. And then, you know, the private sector, the industry have to work with the government just to be sure that we are going to help the country and to try to recover the health of the country. I've been here for 4 years, and when I came in, the business was not doing well. It was not doing well because we had internal problems or internal challenges in terms of quality, in terms of organization efficiency. But on top of it, we had also external challenges with the institution, with the MRA and the government and people like that. And we try to solve that, but my message is, you know, this country deserves very strong industry who gives back to the country and the people. And then to do it, we need to stop all the corruption. We need to have the government and the institution pushing, helping the industry to recover. Because the recovery of this country is going to go through agriculture and industry. Then this is very important. For the time being, we are facing some other issues. We don't have any forex, and you know that a company such Castel Malawi is importing 80% of the packaging and the raw material, but without forex, we can't import. Then we will be pushed to reduce our production and not to supply the market as we wanted to. Then these environmental and political issues are going to wait a lot for the future.
The coming in of Miohade to Castel Malawi 4 years ago saw the company moving from a loss-making position to profit-making. The outgoing MD brought back on the market Sobo Squash. He introduced Shandy Beer, Doppel Munich Dark Beer, Booster Ciders, and rebranded Kuche Kuche Beer, among others.
Well, you know, the Malawian consumer deserve the best product. And then when I came in, you know, the squash, Sobo Squash, was considered as a bad product by the MBS. And then my pride was to convince everyone, and especially the institution, to say that this is the heart of Malawi. Sobo Squash is our product. And then it was very important for me to relaunch and to provide this product. Now, what we've done is not only Shandy, but we relaunch Kuche Kuche. And probably all of you like Kuche Kuche. Now, it's not only a local brand, but it's a premium local brand that you should be proud of, because this is a perfect product and this is dedicated to you guys, to the Malawian people, who should be proud of this product because it's produced here in Malawi for the Malawian people, and it's probably one of the best products we have in our portfolio. Now the business is doing very well. Then I'm very proud of the team, and I will miss Malawi because what we have done was absolutely a tremendous journey due to the focus and the commitment of the team, and of course our consumers who are loving our quality products. Then of course I will miss Malawi a lot, and I will come back.
The incoming managing director, Thomas Reynolds, said though it is his first time to work for the alcoholic beverages side of Castel, he has been with the company for a long period in Central African Republic, Gabon, and Togo. He indicated that his mission will be to continue from where Mihada has left and contribute to the economic development of Malawi. He added that he knows that the country currently has economic problems such as foreign exchange scarcity, but he will make sure they improve the local content of the business. Castel Malawi holds the biggest market share of alcoholic beverages in Malawi and manufactures spirits, beers, and ciders.
Now, in other business news, human resources practitioners in the country are advocating quick enactment of a law that will regulate their operations. This was said recently during the Institute of People Management in Malawi conference that was held in Mangochi. Godwin Ngoma is the institute's president, and he says headways have since been made towards the enactment of the law.
Today, what I was presenting to the Honorable Minister were mainly two issues. Number one, I was letting her know that IPMM as an institute is the oldest professional institute in Malawi. We started way back in 1984. That's 37 years ago. But other professional bodies have come up, have learned from us, and have gone ahead to do their own law, which is a piece of paper that is able to help them do their professional work properly. For HR as IPMM, that has not yet happened, despite the many years that we've been pushing. We are happy now that we are almost there because the Ministry of Justice and the Department of HRD have worked into it, and it's about there. But now we are guiding for support to our other line ministry, the Ministry of Labour, to say we are almost getting closer, and we want their assistance that we should get this thing done, because all the plate that is happening in Malawi partly is to do with human resource, is to do with the people issues. And when we look at the Vision 2063, human resource needs to drive it. How can we drive it when we are not governed? That's what we are asking. So far we can say that there was a time when the process had stalled. Because truly speaking, if we had moved properly, by now we should have had this law in place, and us saying the bill has been passed, it's an act, and we're moving on. But it had slowed again, and last year we started working on it, and there's a lot of progress which has happened. My appeal is that we should not stop and get it stalled again, but that we should move with the remaining steps and get it done within the next 6 months or so. My reaction is the minister was right on spot. What she said is very right. We cannot continue saying people. We are the people.
we need to take the mantle. No one will do it for us. We need to do it for ourselves. So everything that we've been complaining, everything that we're saying is happening to the economy of Malawi. Where are the people? The challenge is exactly as she's given us, and we have accepted it. We need to start actioning. We need to stop talking and start actioning things that we want to happen. We need to do it ourselves. That's the message.
In her remarks, Minister of Labour, Vera Kamtukule, says the government is committed to ensuring that the law is enacted.
The burden of realizing the MW 2063 and the burden of realizing people's dreams at personal level, it lies in the ones that are managing them. So that's a responsibility that they have as people managers. But I think for me, the problem that I have is, do they actually know that? What is their role? Do they even realize that they have that kind of tasks on their heads on behalf of the people? And I think that was my message to them, to say, you are the ones that are going to make sure that we take it home as far as MW is concerned, MW 2063 is concerned, but also you are the ones that are going to make people's dreams come true as far as their aspirations are concerned at personal level. So that was my main message. But also for me, I was saying that as a country, we need to start moving together, aligning ourselves to what is happening within the country. And what is happening within the country is none other than the MW 2063 vision. And if we don't align ourselves, because I mean, no institution is greater than the people that are there, that are involved in that institution. And you cannot do anything without the people. And the people, if they're not managed very well, they will never realize their potential. They will never bring out their best to contribute to the realization of the objectives of that company or that institution. So I think for me, I was saying holistically, when you put it all together, how would we position the issue of people management within an institution or within the country as we have at the moment? So I think that was my main message today. No, I think that's a very positive development. They've been in existence since 1984. I mean, they've been here too long, and we have seen other institutions that have come up and then they've had their legal instruments done. And so it means they have lagged behind. But really, when you really look closely, this is an institution that should have had all these legal instruments in place a very long time ago. But for me, I think it's better late than never. But at the same time, I think for me, it's the issue of purpose. Why do you want to have the legal instrument? Because you can have all the legal instruments that you want in the world, but still fail to deliver. It's about purpose, you know. Why do you want to have, and what is it that is going to achieve? So that legal instrument must achieve something. If it cannot achieve anything, then it's not even important for you to have it in the first place. So we will support it as a Minister of Labour, and then in collaboration with other MDAs. I think we have the DHRMD, we have the OPC, we have the Minister of Justice that are also involved in I think the drafting of the bill. And I think we are at the stage where it's supposed to go at PS level for ratification, and then probably it may come to Cabinet. And so as a ministry, we will ensure that we support it even when it goes to Parliament, because these matters must be handled expeditiously if we want to ensure that we are developing our human capital as enshrined in the MW 2063. It's not up to us, it's up to them, because we are not the ones that are championing its development. But I would tell you this to say, as soon as it goes to the PS level, then it means it will have been ratified at government, the public service level. Then what would remain would be to say we take it to Cabinet and then we take it to Parliament. So if they can do their work very well, maybe in the next 3 weeks or so, maybe in the sitting of February, Parliament sitting of February, that document should go to Parliament.
Well, that interview also brings us to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. Always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense. Stay safe and bye for now.